So this session will be in English and partly Chinese, just for like bilingual, okay? So maybe I kickstart first. So this topic is about Home Assistant. Anyone has used Home Assistant before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Wow, a couple of you guys. You may be more advanced than I do because I'm just a user. I'm not even a developer. But I just share my knowledge of how I manage to use Home Assistant in different scenarios, especially connecting with LLM. So maybe I introduce myself. I'm Amanda. I'm from Hong Kong. I am one of the Women Tech Makers ambassadors. And also, I organize meetups in Hong Kong for Product Tank Hong Kong, and also have a Cantonese podcast. If you want to learn some Cantonese, feel free to listen to the HKPUG podcast. It's been doing this for 15 years. So by the way, if you want to have a copy of this slide, you feel free to scan the QR code now. Because I'm not presenting every slide of this deck, there are some instructions or tips that are actually in more detail. Okay, ready? Okay, good. So maybe I give everyone some context about what is Home Assistant. So Home Assistant is more like operating system that can allow you to connect multiple smart home ecosystems together, and then you can create your own dashboards, you can create your own controls and automation rules and etc. It focuses on local and privacy, and it's maintained by a worldwide community. So I believe a lot of you guys have been like contributing to Home Assistant project as well. You can run it on Raspberry Pi, single board computers, or even just PC or Mac. And it supports thousands of brand and ecosystem integrations. 听得懂吗？因为我讲英文，因为有英文的朋友在这里。对，如果听不懂就可以问我。So Home Assistant was the most popular or with most contributors project on GitHub last year. I'm not sure if you are aware of that. So it even exceeded the contributors to the Microsoft Visual Studio Code in terms of contributor count last year. So it's getting a lot of popularity, and the project's been there for like over 10 years. I think they were celebrating 10-year anniversary sometime earlier this year. So it has a lot of flexibility for you to customize your own dashboards. So you can create your own dashboards, put anything you like on it. You can create multiple tabs. You can have different variety of controls and components, and format it in the way that you like. There's also a cloud service. If you want to support the Home Assistant project, they also have a cloud service called Labu Casa. Obviously, you have to pay for the subscription. I find it's reasonably priced. It's like $65 per year. By using this service, you can actually have your own web accessible address, URL, and then you can also have text-to-speech, which is hosted on cloud as well, and with much more features available for your smart home. And if you want to have a smarter automations, obviously you can integrate with the large language models like OpenAI, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or even local LLMs. If you focus on privacy, you do not want to expose any of your home situations to outsiders. You can host your own computers with a larger video RAM, for example, and then you can just connect it to the Home Assistant, and then you can run queries there. I shared about this briefly last year as well, so I just make a recap. But there are some new things for since last year. There are a lot of development in the project that I will give you some updates this time. So the greatest update since last year was that it has much smarter voice support. For example, you can now buy a hardware like this one. So this is official Home Assistant Voice Preview Edition hardware. It's based on ESP32 chipset. And you can actually connect it to the Home Assistant instance, and actually it will respond to your wake words, and you can talk to it. You can listen to it, and the sound quality isn't very good, so that's why they give you a audio jack as well. You can connect it to a better speaker if you like. And by using LaBucasa, you can actually do the text-to-speech and speech recognition as well. So if you're a cloud subscriber, it's easier, but you can also implement your own local solution with a community project called Piper, which is you can train your own wake words and etc. So it's still possible, but a little bit more techy to implement that. The advantage of using Home Assistant is that you can integrate different ecosystems together. Like, no matter smart home products you bought from different brands like Xiaomi or Apple, Akara, or Switchboard or whatever brands, you can actually integrate into the Home Assistant and control it just like a first-class citizen of your smart home. So maybe I can show you a little bit. Hopefully it works. Usually when I do a demonstration, it's not really stable. But let's see how's the network connection right now. So this is my dashboard. You can see I can actually integrate different elements, like the video feed from my front door camera, or even I have a fridge camera. I put a network camera in my fridge to show whether I still have milk stock and eggs and etc. So I can buy whenever I go to the supermarket. And you can have different tabs. You can have different, you can categorize different things. So, for example, if you have multiple rooms, multiple areas in your flat, you can actually put those here. And there are also integrations for temperature sensors, humidity sensors, and even power consumption. If you have smart plugs with energy monitoring, you can actually integrate into here, monitor your power usage. And by installing some software on the PC, it can actually track your PC as well. So you can track the loading from your computers and etc. And also control your TV, smart TV, and even you can integrate YouTube, your subscribed YouTube channels here. You can monitor it. You can also have monitor the power status or battery status of different sensors, etc. So there are different things that you can do here. And there's also a very interesting way to do LLM control with a smart voice control. So I've recorded this actually last night in the hotel room. So maybe you can have a look on the capability. I played the English version one. what do you recommend me to do with my plants in the balcony under the current temperature and humidity? So you can actually convert my speech into text, and you can see that it's actually responding.
The temperature on the balcony is currently 30.0 degrees Celsius and the humidity is 91.9%. That's quite warm and humid, so I'd recommend watering your plants if they look a bit thirsty. You might also want to ensure they have good air circulation to prevent any mold or mildew issues. Perhaps a gentle misting could be nice for some of them, but be careful not to overdo it with that humidity level.
Do I have to refill the ink in my Epson printer? Hey Jarvis. Oops. Sorry. 今日嘅天氣預點解會播呢個嘅 Okay, so you can see that it's actually taking my speech, convert it into text, and then give it to Home Assistant. Home Assistant asks an LLM model. I use Gemini 2.5 flashlight model here. And then it will digest what you're trying to say and then couple with the latest sensor information and then give you a response that makes sense. It's much smarter than Siri. It's much smarter than Google Assistant. Well, while you're waiting for Apple to launch their Apple Intelligence, you can make your own. So you can even access your computer.
Let's see about that Epson printer ink. It looks like the black ink is at 62%, cyan is at 40%, magenta is at 30%, and yellow is at 30%. So, you've got a bit of all colors left, but the magenta and yellow are getting a little low. You might want to keep an eye on those, but you probably don't need to rush out and buy new ink just yet.
What's on my calendar today? So you can also connect your Google Calendar to Home Assistant if you prefer to do that.
Today, August 9th, you have one event, COSCUP 2025, Home Assistant plus LLM at 11:50 a.m., located at TR 511, National Taiwan University of Science and Technology.
Can you tell me more about this COSCUP event? So if you ask questions like this, it will try to refuse.
I'm sorry, I can't provide any further details about the COSCUP event.
Trying to be local first.
I can only access calendar information.
But you can follow up and ask it to search on Google, and it will try to help you to search the item that you ask on Google and give you the answer. So this is a recently developed capabilities. Last year, they didn't have this capability.
COSCUP stands for Conference for Open Source Coders, Users, and Promoters. It's Taiwan's largest open source gathering, organized by volunteers, and it's happening on August 9th and 10th, 2025, at the National Taiwan University of Science and Technology. They're also having a pre-party on August 8th at Huashan Din Cafe X Bar.
Anyone
this year,
attended
they're collaborating with Ruby CONF Taiwan.
Yeah, so I heard that Donald Trump is doing something with the Taiwanese tech industry. Can you summarize what's going on? So you can ask even recent news through this assistant. So it's combining local queries and like internet queries.
Donald Trump has proposed a 100% tariff on semiconductor imports. The idea is to encourage chip manufacturing within the U.S. Companies that commit to producing chips in the U.S., like TSMC with its investment in Arizona, might get an exemption. However, this could put pressure on smaller Taiwanese tech companies to move their operations to the U.S. as well. This whole situation could lead to increased costs and uncertainty in the tech supply chain.
Yeah, so you can see like you can mix different queries together and have your very own smart voice assistant. So let me summarize a little bit on the recent development of Home Assistant since last year. They have made a lot of improvements in terms of the voice experience that I just show you, like context sharing between local and LLM agents. They also introduced MCP support. If you're with this latest development of MCP, you can actually try it out. You also have a lot more voice variants. The example that I just shown you was based on a particular setting, like a cheerful voice, but you can select a different voice, different, what do you call that? Different mood, different emotions. And you can also, with the latest update just launched 2 days ago, you can actually ask the AI to give us suggestions on the automation names. And there is also improvements in terms of continuing the conversations. You do not have to say the wake word all over every time, and you can just like normal conversations with the AI. And the response time has been improved as well, so you do not have to wait too long to get a response. So I don't play these videos. You can play it yourself once you get the deck. Those are from the official Home Assistant YouTube channels.
Okay.
Okay, so another bunch of enhancements in Home Assistants recently is the improvements of dashboards. It was quite a pain to set up a proper looking dashboards in Home Assistant, but nowadays it's much easier and it's much more user-friendly now. You can create your own sections, you can create your own header cards, tile cards, area cards, and it has some wizard-like guidance that you can set up your dashboard cards much more easier than ever. And it also supports web RTC. If you have a streaming camera, you can actually put it into the dashboard and watch the streaming video from it. And if you're using iOS, their companion app has some updates as well. So you can even trigger the voice assistant through the Apple Watch. You can totally possible to do that. And there's some like control center. You can have a lot more integrations. If you use Android, Home Assistant can be your default voice assistant. So you can replace whatever Gemini or whatever voice assistant. So you can learn about your home much better. And there are also improvements in terms of scene editor. And also there are some integration quality tiers. So Home Assistant want to encourage the vendors to support it much better and devote more resources and priority for it. So they launched this kind of quality tiers to rate the integrations. So you get the best quality as platinum, and then gold, and then silver, and then bronze quality of integrations. So you can have a glimpse of how a particular integration behaves or what is the quality about it. Oops. And Home Assistant is an open source project, so there are a lot of changes. There are monthly updates, monthly releases, very rapid development across the global communities. Sometimes when you're eager to try something new, you always want to like back up first because sometimes it will break your own configurations. In terms of backups, Home Assistant community has implemented a lot of very great features in the last few months. So it's becoming much easier for you to do the system backup. So whenever you do system updates or any even add-on updates, you can actually ask Home Assistant to do a backup first before you do the actual update. In case you cannot restart the system, you can still have a way to resume back to your previous healthy state. And you can actually do this backup on either store it in a local device, or you can store it on like the cloud services like Google Drive, OneDrive, and etc. And obviously, you can also enable encryptions and scheduling your backups. And you're using a lot of Bluetooth and Z-Wave devices, then you can have much better support as well. So in a recent release, they introduced this very great looking Bluetooth connection map that you can actually analyze how your Bluetooth devices are connected to each other and whether the signal is strong enough and etc. to do some troubleshooting. And they're also improving the Z-Wave long-range support. So if you use some Z-Wave devices, you can actually have a much wider range for your devices. Yeah, so basically, I just want to summarize things about Home Assistant voice. So why bother setting this up, right? It will take some of your time to do this. But by leveraging the strengths of LLM, you can have much more lateral conversations with the AI, right? Just like when you're chatting with ChatGPT or Gemini, you can use your voice to do that kind of chatting with the AI. And you do not need to remember particular syntaxes or sentence structures like you did before when you're talking to Siri or Google Assistant. You can actually select whatever LLM model you like. If you are really emphasizing on local and privacy, you can actually implement your own LLM server locally using totally open weight, offline available models like Gemma or like Llama, or even, I'm not sure, I haven't tested it yet, but I believe even the ChatGPT GPT OSS model would work. And you just connect it to Home Assistant, you can do similar things as I just demonstrated. But obviously, the response time or the quality of the response may not be as good. But if you are really concerned about privacy, you can do that as well. And because it can control all your smartphone devices across multiple systems, multiple ecosystems, you can also make it much better automations with more granular controls. For example, in previous days when you have a Cara sensor and then a switchboard robot thingy or Alexa or something like that, so you have to use individual apps. But with Home Assistants, you can use an automations to say like when my Xiaomi sensors triggers temperature above like 30 degrees, it turns on the switchboard button to turn on the air conditioner. Things like that. You can achieve these similar things in Home Assistant. And with the latest updates, you can also search the internet for the most available knowledge, even after the LLM's knowledge cut update. So that's a plus thing. So it supplements both the local LLM's advantage with a Google search capability as well. And the companion app is pretty powerful. You can configure your own dashboards. If you have an old tablet, for example, lying around, like you usually upgrade your iPad or Android tablets every few years, right? You can leverage your old tablet to become a dedicated Home Assistant dashboards, and then you can just stick it somewhere at your home corner, and then you can let your family to use it or to control your devices. And for Hong Kongers, Home Assistant has a lot of good Cantonese support as well. So this is extremely difficult for many other voice assistants. Even Gemini today do not have a Cantonese support, but with Home Assistant, you can actually achieve that. there are some cons as well. For example, setting up this agent and voice assistant could be a quite complicated process. I would not go through all the details here, but you have access to that deck. You can actually follow the steps if you like. And the text-to-speech tone is a little bit like dated, quite old school, I would say. Like if you try to compare it with the latest emotion-rich integrations in Gemini or in ChatGPT, it's not comparable, but it serves the purpose to give you a good response. You can select particular emotion, but you cannot ask it to dynamically change the voice or emotions like the Gemini Live or ChatGPT voice mode do today. So that's still something that they need to work on. And it would take quite a little bit of turnaround time for the Home Assistant to talk to the LLM model to do the speech recognition, text-to-speech translations. So as you see in the demo, it's reasonable but not very quick. Just a real-time example that I show you was done in hotel room connection. So that it would take a little bit more time. And there's also very few wake words to choose from. So the default wake word for this device is OK Labu. So Labu is its name. Or you can select something like Hey Jarvis, something like that. But there are not many choices available for you to customize. Unless you want to train your own wake word, that you can totally do that in the Piper framework. But I haven't spent enough time to work on that. And if you want the LLM to directly respond to your speech, you have to use this. There's no other choices. There is also other way if you want to leverage your existing, what do you call that, smart home speakers from Apple and Google. Then you have to ask you need to ask Siri or Google Assistant to call Home Assistant to respond to your question. So you have to spend an extra step to achieve that. But if you want to have a direct conversations, you need to buy this. So that's a disadvantage for now. Yeah, so that's summarize what I have to share today. See if anyone has any questions. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a few questions. First, you say you have a camera installed in your refrigerator, right?
Yes.
I was curious, how do you deal with this blocking of this refrigerator from the camera inside to transmit I guess the wireless signal to outside? That's the first question. Should I?
Yeah, let me answer that first. Okay. The camera I use is from Arlo. It's a battery powered camera. So I have to charge the camera like once a month, something like that. Somehow it gets through the Wi-Fi signals from my fridge door. Yeah, so I put it on the fridge door, so it's closer to the outside world. Because I do not do the streaming all the time, I just ask Home Assistant to take a picture whenever the fridge door is closed for like 5 minutes steady, no one opens it anymore, and then it creates a snapshot, and then you put it into the dashboard. So that's the way I do it.
The second question is, you asked the temperature. To my surprise, he also suggests you, okay, you should, because the temperature higher something, moisture is low, so you should water your plant. I was wondering, this is the default template for the answer, or you set out certain Home Assistant hint or whatever to ask them to answer this suggestion?
Yeah, you can actually set up some default system prompts. So to tell the LLM, what does your home look like what kind of setup, how many people are in your home, what do you want the Home Assistant to respond to you in, what kind of tone. You can be very serious tone, you can be very funny tone. So it's more like chatting with an LLM model. You can set up your own default system prompts. 有其他问题吗？可以用中文问，也可以。
I want to know if this Home Assistant can connect with the computer, like use a Home Assistant to control the computer. Can this be done with?
Yes. So there's also another community project called HA Agent. There's another project that you need to first install a piece of software in your computer, and then connect to Home Assistant. So Home Assistant will detect your PC, have all the sensors or entities. You can select which particular hardware values you want the Home Assistant to read or control. It's totally up to you to expose whatever things that you want it to be controlled.
So can I download the app or something on the user Home Assistant to like let my computer to download the app, or?
You have to set it up first.
Okay.
Yeah, in the computer. Ken?
Yeah, I think okay. A couple months ago, there was like a Home Assistant Community Day. The project is 12 years old.
12 years old.
In September.
Right.
And in Tokyo, there was like, in Tokyo at the Home Assistant Community Day, there were like 5 or 6 people. My friend was the organizer. I was in Taiwan, so I couldn't do it. And there was nothing in Taiwan. They were all over the world. There were 90 people in Shenzhen and 0 in Taiwan. So
Wow.
I don't understand why Home Assistant is big in Europe, big in America, and not big in China. I mean,
Those who raise your hands just now, please set up a meetup regularly.
yeah, next year let's have a booth here. There should be, I mean, I brought a friend today. He works for a Taiwanese IoT company, and so this is an opportunity because there are open standards now. So you can make products instead of saying works with Google, works with Amazon, works with Samsung, works with TP-Link, works with Xiaomi, works with Home Assistant. It really is a big opportunity. So it's a huge project.
Yeah.
I hope to see. Also, sorry, I live in Japan, and my friend and I, we've started a Home Assistant group in Tokyo finally, and so we attend the we have a booth at the Japanese open source conferences in Tokyo area, and he went to Kyoto. So I wanted to stay in touch with you, but no Google. Yeah, no Google Docs, no Gmail. This is like privacy, local first. Don't put everything in the cloud.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah, I think we need to hand over the time for any next session in this room. Or
There's no next session in this
Okay.
room. I think like it's just
Lunchtime.
lunchtime, or you can still chat here, I think.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I can briefly talk to you what else are in this stack, right? Okay, if you want to set it up, feel free to do so. But I'm not going through slide by slide. Just to give you a very quick rundown on this. So I talk about how you can connect Home Assistant to, if you use cloud, you can use Gemini. If you use local, you can connect to local LLM. And so there are some different terminologies you need to understand, like conversation agent, voice assistant. So the importance is they want to distinguish, like because it's solution agnostic, right? So you can have different combinations of LLM models combining with different solutions of text-to-speech model. So you can have your own combinations. So that's why they separate out. You can set up separately and do your own thing. And these are the steps. How do you create a conversation agent? I won't go through that, but if you use the cloud one, you can select the model you like. And there's also workaround for you to search Google if you like. yeah, so that's also steps for you to configure this little toy. And you can also select which particular device or attributes to be controlled by your voice. So very granular control to protect your privacy. So this is pretty important. Oops. Yeah, so that's all I have.